Hello everyone and welcome back to another video by me, the RangerGeorge. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I thought would be quite a fun exploratory video idea, because recently I've been thinking a lot about future Witcher games and what the future Witcher games could be, you know, what could happen. We know the next Witcher game is going to be on the School of the Lynx, that's basically confirmed at this point, so we can't have our Witcher game where you play as the different schools, which a lot of people want to see. And then just by thinking about that, I got thinking about what would a game look like if it was about each of the Witcher schools? You know, if you had a Witcher game about the School of the Griffin, School of the Manticore, School of the Bear, School of the Viper, School of the Cat, that kind of thing, what would that game be like? What would each of those games be like? You could say we've already had a game about the School of the Wolf with Geralt, to a degree. I mean, he is a member of the School of the Wolf, but him as a character is just kind of his own thing. And I feel like you could do the same thing with each of those schools. So for today's video, I want to talk about the School of the Cat. What could a Witcher game be like if it was about the School of the Cat? What kind of mechanics could it have? What kind of story could it have? What kind of feeling could this entire game have? And where would be a really good setting to have it? So for me, I've got a few story ideas, and a lot of these ideas do apply to every single Witcher school, and the first idea was just basically you could follow the rebuilding of the School of the Cat, or you could follow a surviving member on their journey, but I think the best idea I have for a story game for the School of the Cat, and just something that would be quite interesting, is that, well, it's because it's so unique to the School of the Cat, and it's that you could follow a member of the School of the Cat as it began to fall into turning into this sort of hired assassin school, the kind of black sheep of the Witcher schools, I suppose you could say. You know, we always get this dialogue in The Witcher 3 about, oh, the school that turned hired assassins, that sort of thing, and they're sort of looked down on for that, because it's something that Witchers don't really do. I mean, of course, in The Witcher 3, Geralt kills a lot of people, but he doesn't really assassinate people, you know, that's not something he does, it's always for some sort of good reason or something like that. The School of the Cat were basically like, oh, we can get paid a lot to kill other people, so let's just do that. And there's a lot around the lore of the School of the Cat that sort of leads to that, and they're kind of the miscreants of the Witchers, you know. I mean, there's all this stuff in the pen and paper RPG, and I'm not sure how canon it is, but in that kind of area, it's not really said in the games or the books or anything like that, but it's this idea that you had the School of the Cat, they were all part of this big order of witches, and all the different witches splintered off from it, and the School of the Cat splintered off, and they went to Stigger Castle, then it started getting worse and worse, then they ended up in this caravan, they became the kind of miscreant witches, so witches from other schools that had kind of failed mutations, they would join the School of the Cat. I think they also said that they developed new mutations new mutagens, and a new method of creating witches that kind of made them more erratic and crazy, which is why they were so willing to just go and kill people, and they didn't really have this sort of firm, I suppose, ethical stance on things. I feel like a game following that would be interesting. So you have the School of the Cats in Stigger Castle, if that's what they want to go with, then it kind of slowly crumbles down, goes to this caravan, then the caravan gets destroyed, and then you have all these witches out in the world. And you could be one of those witches, so you play the game and you have to start, like, you know, I felt like there could be some kind of reputation system where you can basically be like, right, do I want to take this contract that will let me kill this guy? Or I can do the contract, get the XP and stuff, and then choose to spare or kill this person if they offer me something like that. Or if they don't offer me anything and it's just like, please don't do it. And it's like, okay. Then you build up this kind of reputation. It's a little bit like Red Dead Redemption 2's reputation system, or a lot of other games. I remember playing a game a while back called Vampire that had something like that. Or even like Bioshock, you know, where you save the little sisters. I think that's something that you could add into that kind of game, and it wouldn't feel out of the place. And this leads me into what I mean for mechanics. And I feel like for the School of the Cat, you could really lean into stealthy combat. It's possible you could start the game and maybe you have different paths you can go on, so you can lean heavily into the stealthy sort of combat, or you could be just more like a classic kind of Witcher, like something like Gaetan in The Witcher 3. You know, you're just a kind of general warrior Witcher, but you're just a member of the School of the Cat. But, you know, you could lean into these different paths, I suppose, and play the game as a very stealthy Witcher, a normal Witcher, or just kind of like 3, you know, you could lean into magic, stuff like that. I just feel like for the School of the Cat, stealth combat is something that would be really cool to see added more into The Witcher. So, you know, you're this mutant that is meant to be fast reflexes, stuff like that. And if you're an assassin Witcher, imagine you're like climbing up the buildings, you're using Axii to influence the guards, you're using Ard to like destroy locks and stuff, or Igni to sort of melt the lock, something like that. Like that'd be a cool mechanic, wouldn't it? If they had locks on doors, you had to like increase your Igni level to be able to like open it. That's so good. I'd love that. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. But That kind of thing. So it's like this assassin game. I feel like it'd be great to have the game set somewhere like Nilfgaard, so you have this giant city in the center of this empire with all this intrigue and the different nobles trying to kill each other, and then you're this hired assassin, and maybe the game leads up and up and up and up, and you have to, like, I don't know, maybe assassinate the emperor or something like that. I mean, let's not go too far. I'm not sure how that would fit into the lore. It depends where you situate the game. You could put it like very far back or something like that. That could be interesting. Maybe in the lore the usurper killed Emir's dad, right? Maybe they could slightly retcon it that the usurper hired you to do it as a cat witcher, and it's kept like a secret so no one would know, right? I mean, that I don't want to like mess with the lore too much, but if it fits in the story, it's not too out of the place. Maybe there's multiple endings. Maybe in one ending the usurper does just kill the emperor. One ending you can as his like hired assassin. So there's the lore accurate and then the kind of fun one. Just stuff like that could be a really interesting way to play the game. I think that following a School of the Cat Witcher would be such a unique experience, because we've played as a School of the Wolf, especially Geralt, which is generally quite like honorable, I'd say. There is options to be less honorable in the game and just take money, but I wouldn't say dishonorable. But playing as this kind of sleazy witcher who, they're sneaky, they go around the buildings, they assassinate people if they want to, you could see how that interacts with other witches. You could see the world through their eyes. I think that would be such an interesting Witcher game, and something that we just haven't really seen before from the world of the Witcher. I mean, surely you guys have had the same thought when you've been going around Novigrad or Oxenfurt, and you've thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could like climb up these buildings and stuff? I mean, Geralt, it's kind of weird to imagine him sneaking around, but Cat Witcher, pretty cool. Someone like Novigrad climbing up through the buildings, going through everything. I think that would be such an interesting way to see the world of The Witcher. And something I'd like to add is that we've already met some of the School Cat Witchers in The Witcher 3, and I feel like a lot of people that play The Witcher 3 will be, I think, pretty aware of the School of the Cat. We had Gaetan, we had Yard Karadin, there was even Kian, who was sort of tortured, and that was this terrible story. Imagine if we could play, if the timeline lines up, which I feel like it should, you could play as a Witcher in the School of the Cat while these witches are still active, and you know them, so you know Yard Karadin, you know Kian, you know Gaetan, or maybe you meet them in your journey, so they're not just all sat there together or something like that, but you go out and you're like, oh, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this guy, and it's while they were like active witches, you know, before Kian was tortured, before Gaetan, well, he's kind of active, and before Yard Karadin became this benevolent guy. I mean, you'd have to work out with the timelines how well that works. It could even just be like Yard Karadin and Gaetan are active at a similar time, and you know, you maybe have Kian and it's like, oh, there was that witcher that disappeared, we don't know what happened to him, something like that. I think all these little references would just build the world of The Witcher even more, and it would be such a cool way to see the story and how it unfolds. One scene I have in mind in particular is like maybe you're following a Bruxa or a higher vampire or a Ekimara, something like that, through the rooftops of Nilfgaard, and you're trying to like chase it down, it's running. That'd be so cool as like this kind of assassin witcher. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you want a Witcher game that is... It's quite different from The Witcher 3, isn't it? This kind of assassin Witcher game. I don't want to make The Witcher Assassin's Creed. I want to just clarify that. It's a very different game, and I think that's good. But I feel like you could add this mechanic and combine it with cool Witcher mechanics, and it would be just unique to that School of the Cat game. Let's say the next game is School of the Bear. Very different. Like maybe completely different, you know? No sort of sneaking stuff. That's just part of the School of the Cat game. I think having these different Witcher series, possibly, with these different feelings attached to each of them would be really cool. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Do you have any ideas for the School of the Cat game? What would you like to see in it? Is there anything you think I've missed? Do you think there's something that was obvious, like, oh, you got to show this part of the School of the Cat, you got to do this, this, this? I mean, I guess a really important thing would be the female witches. In the School of the Cat, in the lore, it's possible there are female witches, so we could even have a female protagonist, or maybe dual protagonist, something like that. That could be a really interesting way to see the game. But that's it for today's video, guys. Be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this, and like the video to let me know you want to see more. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate that, guys, so please be sure to let me know you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all for watching. I really, really do appreciate it, guys. And yeah, let me know what videos you'd like to see in the future. Have an awesome rest of the week.